why it's needed. And here at Hardwick Middle School Sports College, we have 6 Year 8 children. You're all 12, aren't you? So, most of you, I know, have bought things on the internet. Tell me, Cameron, what about you? What have you bought?
I've bought like various apps from the Apple Store with my parents' permission.
How important do you think it is that you get permission? Because we know that some people don't.
Yeah, because if you don't, you can rack up huge bills and it's not very good.
What do you think about the education that you've had in terms of financial business? We know that you have had lessons from year 6, haven't you?
Yeah, I think the lessons were really good because it gives you a clue on what real life is about. Because we had to we had a budget and we had to organise a holiday for a family, and it's obvious that you have to save up quite a lot of money to be able to go on holiday, and I think it was a really good lesson because it gives you a taste of what real life is about, really.
Poppy, how many people do you think actually have access, young people have access to smartphones and iPads that they've maybe borrowed?
I think most of them have, because you always hear, like you said, stories about young kids who have brought things and adults, and I think most people have.
How young, Lucy, do you think that pupils should be getting this kind of education?
Well, if you look at the stories, they're actually really young, the people who are racking up the bills, so I think as young as possible. Obviously, it's difficult because if they don't understand what they're speaking, what people are saying, but as soon as they do, I think it's important that it gets across. As soon as they can get onto websites and places where they can spend a lot of money, it's a good idea that they know what they're doing.
Okay, thank you, Lucy. Over the other side of the table, over to Kieran. Tell me, how aware do parents need to be of making sure that things are password protected, for example?
They need to be as aware as possible, because when they're home they need to make sure, like if their tablet or iPad is with them, or if their children have it, they need to make sure they know what they're doing. So you can't give your children's password away. You can't give them your password, or they can just go and buy anything what you don't want them to buy, and then your bills will go up and you could find yourself in debt, and you don't want that bringing up a child.
I know, Ollie, that you haven't actually, you're the only one in the room that hasn't bought something on a tablet or a smartphone. How important do you think it is that for children not to be maybe pressured to get on, to use games and different things where you have to buy virtual donuts or virtual ammunition, for example?
A lot of your friends will say, "Oh, buy this game," but if you don't want to buy it and your parents tell you can't, then you just have to face it. But when your parents tell you can't, you can't just go and buy it without your parents' permission.
Now, all of you in the room, 6 of you here, have any of you got bank accounts? So 5 of you have got bank accounts. But when I asked earlier if any of you knew what a current account was, how many put their arms up? None. So none knew what a current account is. So this is the thing, people are operating in a virtual world, or they're making purchases online stores, but actually it's real money they're dealing with, and it's that kind of lesson that these young children and children across the country need to be taught.
Okay, Emma, thank you very much for that. My children are very good with money. They only know how to do one thing, and that's spend it. Let's return to events